What's going on, everybody? So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about big baller marketing for real estate investors and also just business in general. I've been hearing so much about LeVar Ball in the news. He's a pretty interesting character with his kids playing basketball, and he's starting his own basketball league and whatnot. I decided to make a video about big baller marketing for real estate investors and how you can actually see results with your marketing. Unlike most real estate investors who don't really get that many leads and don't really have any strategies for marketing, in this video we're going to go over some big baller strategies. All right, so what most real estate investors do when they're getting started, they'll pick a strategy. Let's say talking to real estate agents and trying to get real estate agents to find them deals, which don't get me wrong, is a great strategy. However, what most people do versus what the big ballers of real estate do is completely different. So what most people do is they'll talk to like their neighbor or their friend or their cousin who just happens to be a real estate agent, and they'll kind of rely on like one person to find them deals. When in reality, you need to really be reaching out to a lot of people. So for example, let's take one investor I know of. He reached out to every single real estate agent in the entire city who had done a deal within the last 6 months, and basically told the agents, he said, look, if you can find me good off-market deals, you can be the buyer's agent once it's purchased, and then you can be the listing agent once it's sold. So you can get basically 6%, both sides of the commission, which to a real estate agent obviously is very attractive. So he sent that message. He reached out to, like I said, every real estate agent. So I think there was maybe like a 500 or even 1,000 that he reached out to. And of course, a lot of real estate agents might not be interested in working with investors, or might be busy, or might, for whatever reason, just not want to work together. But out of all of them that he reached out to, I think there was about 25 or 30 that now basically like scour the city looking for deals for this guy. So that would be a pretty, quote unquote, big baller strategy right there. Next up for finding deals, if you want to be different than what most people do, when it comes to wholesalers. So working with wholesalers, people that are going to, like bird dogs, wholesalers, people that do all the marketing and serve up the deal to the investor, basically on a silver platter, essentially. You want to build a list of them. And you don't want to just rely on one or two wholesalers. So one of the best strategies for finding wholesalers is going on the website LinkedIn. And what you can do is you can just type in wholesaler on LinkedIn and then go to your city, and there should be a list of maybe 25, 50, maybe even 100 different wholesalers just on LinkedIn alone. Much less, you should also, anytime you see a Bandit sign, we buy houses sign, you should write that phone number down, call those people. You should also be networking at RIAs, real estate investor associations, and meetup groups. So you should be compiling a list of wholesalers, because if you have one wholesaler, they're probably not going to send you very many good deals. However, if you're in a city where you can have 25 or even 50 wholesalers constantly sending you deals, I guarantee you that you could find some good properties that way. As we all know, most wholesaler deals are not great, but it's just a numbers game. So if you have 25 wholesalers and you get 25 leads every single month, I can just guarantee you that at least a couple of those leads are going to be pretty good. All right, the next big baller strategy is with direct mail. So most investors, when they're getting started, they might have heard something that said, okay, you need to send direct mail. And what they'll do is they'll send out like 50 or 100 letters, and they won't get any responses, and then they'll say that direct mail just doesn't work. I've seen it happen just countless times. And in reality, the big ballers of real estate investing, these guys are sending out 5,000, 10,000 postcards every single month. When you're getting started, I'm not saying to do that, but that should be a goal of yours. When I got started, I was sending out maybe 200 or 300 per month. And you want to get a feel for how many leads you're going to get, on a smaller scale before you really scale it up. So start small, but have the end goal being that, you're going to eventually be sending out, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, even 10,000 letters every single month. Because if you're sending out 5,000 or 10,000 letters every single month to the right groups of people, like motivated sellers, such as absentee, pre-foreclosure, probate, eviction, things like that, you're almost guaranteed to get a deal if you're sending out the right message. And if you want a copy of the exact postcard that I use, take a look at the link in this video. I'll have a link directly to the exact same postcard that I use that was given to me by other successful investors and, still works. Okay, the next strategy is Bandit Signs. 95% of investors, they'll try it, but they'll put out like 5 or 10 or 15 Bandit Signs. Now, you always have to be sure that Bandit Signs are legal in your area, because some areas you might get fined. So definitely be sure that they're legal. Again, you should have a big baller strategy behind it. So in my opinion, a big baller strategy would be putting out, let's say 100 Bandit Signs every single month. And maybe you have them strategically mapped out around town. You've driven the route, so you know exactly, how long it takes. for someone to eventually put those up for you, because that's something you do want to outsource. Driving around, putting up bandit signs is not the best use of your time. With all the apps and services like TaskRabbit and all these different places where you can just hire people very inexpensively, there's just no reason for you to drive around doing that. So you definitely want to think big and scale it out, map it out, but then eventually outsource that task. The next thing would be online marketing. So if you want to be a big baller in real estate investing, you have to have online marketing. You have to have search engine optimization. You have to do AdWords. You have to do different things like that. You have to obviously have a website. But for starters, a lot of people they'll do like 2 Craigslist ads, right? And that's what most people do. And then they won't get any leads, and then they'll say internet marketing doesn't work. In reality, you have to be spending, maybe $1,000 or maybe even $2,000 a month on pay-per-click ads or Facebook ads or Instagram ads, things like that. And again, similar to direct mail, you never want to start, even if you have the budget to spend, $5,000 or $10,000 or $1,000, you never want to just start with that. Online marketing and direct mail marketing, these are something that you want to scale up. So you want to learn how to get your first lead. And maybe buy a couple books on it and implement those strategies, learn from it, and then the next month try to double your leads, and then try to double the leads after that. And if you can just learn the skill of just getting 25 or 50 leads per month, you can pretty much be a real estate investor in any single market in the US. So again, think big with your marketing. Don't just put up 2 Craigslist ads and think that that's internet marketing. You really have to be strategic. Read a couple books. There's plenty of free YouTube videos on how to set up AdWords campaigns, Facebook campaigns, Instagram campaigns, YouTube campaigns for that matter. But you definitely want to be taking massive action and progressively doing more and more advertising. Just, that incremental improvement after 6 months, you should be, better than probably 99% of the investors out there. Another big baller strategy would be as far as networking goes. So most people, again, they'll attend like one networking group, and maybe they'll meet a couple people and they'll say, oh, I didn't get any deals from the 2 or 3 people that I met at the networking event, when you should be attending every single networking event possible. Every city has usually several RIAs, Real Estate Investor Associations. So instead of just going to one RIA, go to all 3 or 4 RIAs. Look up meetup groups. Usually there's 3 or 4 related real estate meetup groups in addition to the RIA groups. So that's like 8 groups right there. Every single night you could be at a different event. And then not to mention there's also, different events going on around town in the city. Maybe there's grand openings of different things. It doesn't always have to be directly real estate investing, but if there might be some big, real estate people there, or just in general, just networking. People like talking about real estate, people like networking. So try to really have your schedule packed. If you're just saying, oh, I'm just going to go to one networking meeting a month, you're just not going to get many results that way. And if you really want to be a big baller with marketing, you will have to spend money. With real estate investing, it's, there's free strategies like networking, which is good. But when it really comes down to it, direct mail and things like AdWords, and also bandit signs are going to be some of your best tactics. So, you need to be almost to the point where you're extreme with it. And that means maybe you even get a part-time job. Maybe you scale down to get a smaller apartment. Maybe you cut some costs in different places, because when you're starting a business, you really need a lot of momentum. And, just do it for 6 months. Try it out. At the very least, if you're cutting back and also getting some extra income from different maybe side gigs, and then you're also like learning marketing strategies, even if you don't get any deal, you probably would have more marketing experience after 6 months than again, 99% of the people out there. So even if you don't do any deals and you spend $5,000 or $10,000 on marketing, you'll still pick up a pretty valuable education. So I hope you enjoyed this video on big baller marketing. And just to recap, with your marketing, you just need to think about scalability, because most people they just don't think that you need to be doing that much marketing to be successful, or much networking, or much of anything. They think that just minimal efforts. They might spend like 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week in some job that they hate, but they won't spend an hour on their marketing, much less 3 or 4 or 5 hours per day, really trying to scale it up, get an effective strategy in there. So your goal should be to just start getting leads, and then eventually just try to get 25 or even 50 leads. I mean, honestly, if you even just hit that amount, which really isn't that much, just 25 or 50 leads, you can almost certainly be doing deals in any market. Much less if you really scale it up the big baller way and get 100 or 200, or some of the top real estate investment companies might get like 300 or 400, 500 leads per month. But honestly, yeah, 25 is good enough to start seeing some deals. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give me a like, please subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. All right, bye.